Hi guys, analysis update on the XY guys. I'm gonna do a quick recap on my previous analysis on the XY and my expectations on the XY. If you watched my previous analysis on the XY, I said I was predicting the XY to push to the upside to get to my negative 27% fib level, which was around 103.774 based on the bigger time frame that we haven't got into my negative 27% fib level. And if you've been watching my analysis, you know that my target is always one point. My negative 27% fib level is always my first TP, and majority of the time you always get to that TP. So as you can see that we actually did not, because we were around this, if I recall, we were around this zone right here. I think we were around this here right here. So I said there's a possibility for it to actually come down to this zone right here before we continue to tank to the downside, because we can see that in previous price action we rejected around that zone multiple times, and I said there's a possibility for us to actually come down that to retest more before we continue to push to the downside. As you can see that we broke the zone with this candle right here, we retested this candle right here, which will have been, it was really tricky though, because we retested this one right here, then we had this engulfing candle. This would have been like an entry, because I want to be honest, right? This was like an entry for me to write to 102.996. That was it, what I was predicting when we pushed down to it, which was around about 26 right pips. So I said there's a possibility for us to actually push down there, right? Because we can see, like I said, there was this breakout zone, it came to retest, had this engulfing candle. It just made sense for me to sell, but I took a stop loss on this because we can see that we started tanking back to the upside. So that was really tricky, but that's fine. The market doesn't move the way we want it to move all the time, which is that. So I'm deleting the previous analysis and reanalyzing the XY base. I still know we are pushing to my negative 7% fib level, but we can do in either way. So now I'm going to go to a bigger time frame to analyze the XY just to see the overall analysis. If you've been watching my previous analysis, you should know by now that I like to do top down analysis. It just helps overall with your direction for more accuracy. So we can see that this is the weekly time frame, and we can see that we are currently tanking to the upside on the XY. So I'll go to my daily time frame. Let's see. So this is where the fib is coming from. We can see we have this impulse, a correction of a rectangular pattern, which is the continuation chart pattern. So we can see that we had that, and we are continuing to tank to the upside. We can see that we had multiple rejections around my 38.2% fib level before we start tanking to the upside. So I still believe we're still gonna at least hit my negative 27% fib level, like I said, 103.779. But we can see that we're having kind of like rejection around this area, so there's a possibility for it to actually push down, because we can see there is this gap right here. If I zoom in a little bit, if I zoom out, I mean a little bit, we can see there is this gap right here, and trust me, gap is always going to be refilled. It might be refilled, come back to fill that gap either immediately, or sometimes it might take a while, but it's always going to come down to fill that gap. So there's a possibility, just because I'm seeing a lot of weak rejection around this area, I'll wait and see how this candlesticks right continues. When the market opens, then if we continue with more momentum of sell, then there's a possibility for us to actually push down to this level right here to fill in the gap, and also retest the zone. So we can see that we broke out of the zone, right, with this candle right here and a gap, and it hasn't retested the zone here. So we might possibly come down here to retest the zone and possibly give us a touch of trend line, possibly, right, which will be like a touch of trend line. If I zoom in a little bit, we can see one touch, second touch, and a possible third touch of trend line before we continue to tank to my first TP, and my second TP is my negative 61.8% fib level. But that will determine depending on how the market, how solid the market is around negative 27% fib level, right? So we can see how I like to use the bigger time frame, just making it break it down and see different perspective and biases on the market. So now I'm going to get to a more smaller time frame right now. So now I think we are pushing to the downside for a while. Remember the last time I said if you're pushing to the upside, this will be my TP, and if you're pushing to the downside, this certainly will be my first TP right here, and my second TP will be run around here. So I'm just gonna readjust that right now, because when I analyze this sell move, I didn't have, when I like the sell TP, I didn't have like enough momentum for fib. Now that I have a way to use my fibs, I'm gonna use my fib for the profit. So we know fib, we need a point A and a point B, right? So now that we have that, and we see this is a point C right here, so it has started retracing already. Let me just use my fib from point A to point B, that point A to point B. You can see that's really perfect. You can see that so we can see that that aligns perfectly well. My TP aligns perfectly well when I get a 27% fib level. That is why I used to say that I don't just use my fib. Yes, my strategy is 100% fib level most of the time, but it always aligns with the key, it always aligns with key zone, it always aligns with market structure. That is why it's important for us to know price action, because I just think that it just come together to synchronize together. We can see that even when I analyze this, like I said, if you watch my previous analysis, I didn't have enough data for me to use my fib on the chart, right, based on this action right here. And I said this was just like the normal zone that we should take TP first, because that is where like we have a sort of like an imbalance right around this area right here that hasn't been retested yet. So that was just like a normal, just for those that doesn't use fib, right, they're just like a normal zone for them to actually think about, to go to, for the market to go next to, right? And we can see now that I have more data to use fib on it, that aligns perfectly well with negative 27% fib level. And that is why we know like price action is the king, to be honest. Like, even despite the fact that you use indicators in conjunctions with price actions, like just use everything together, and most of the time it's just aligned, right? It aligns and give you more confluences. So as we can see right now that we can see, if I go to smaller time frame, we can see the market has been giving me some sort of like a down move. So now I'm predicting it to at least get to this down move, like I said, to touch this trend line, then continue to zoom to the downside. So just so us to know that we are on down move, I'm just going to do a counter trend line right here, right? Let's go to a much smaller time frame and see my 2-hour time frame. Let me delete this one since I don't need that anymore. So we can see now that we have one touch, second touch, possible third touch. We have a touch. So now I think we might continue to zoom down here. So I'm just gonna delete this one, put it more closer to the current price action. I think 999 right now. So that is my TP right now, but let's see how the market might go. The market might go some sort of like we might see the market go a little bit to maybe my level right here, then push to the downside. I'm seeing something of some sort. Let me go to more smaller time frame to see if I see any imbalance. The only sort of like a retracement level that I see right now aligns with 38.2% fib level. We can see there is this zone right here, so there's a possibility for it to come there right there to retest it, ever breaking it before we continue to zoom to the downside, guys. So when we get to this level, right, we'll determine what will happen next. We might just start tanking to the upside to get to my overall buy TP, or we might just continue to push to the downside. But we'll take it one step at a time. When we get to this, we will determine our next move. So this is my analysis update on the XY, guys. If you find it helpful, if you do, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, and share. And I'll see you in my next analysis, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.